And yeah, the experience will just be drastically different for you. All you need is like some basil, garlic, and onion. That's it. You're good.
Check out the description down below for Rob DeSantis family pasta sauce recipe.
Yeah.
Simple, easy, delicious.
Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy.
This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob.
Welcome to the Whisky Rant Podcast.
It's a little crusty,
It's frustrating.
and it's going to be a little bit of a rant.
I don't understand it. I don't know why.
Some sort of injustice.
Anyway, end rant.
Hello and welcome back to the Whisky Rant Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Rob, and there's a fruit fly that's driving me crazy already. No, that's part of the podcast. We
Like, you want to reset or?
No, that's good. That's
tonight,
good stuff.
We are talking about whiskeys for the fall season. Fall has just come, and we switch up our habits. I mean, I do for sure. Drink different things in the summertime versus the fall or winter months. And in front of us tonight, we got a couple Octomores to try.
I would say more than ever this summer, because there were some really hot days this summer.
Oh, it's crazy.
So I definitely was leaning toward a lighter whiskey this summer, big time, like more than ever. And now that it's cooled down and everything, I'm definitely craving that heavier peat style,
Yeah.
heavier sherry style, like that kind of stuff.
There's nothing like when the air gets a little brisk, a little cold out there to like have a nice warming peated scotch. It's like, it's literally the best thing. It's why people in Scotland love drinking peated scotch, because it's like, it's almost that temperature there all the time.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't care what anybody says. They call Christmas the most wonderful time of the year. This is the most wonderful time of the year.
Scotch season?
So like as soon as fall starts,
Yeah.
throughout October. October is the best month of the year. Let's be real. Like Thanksgiving is incredible.
Yeah.
Football's flying. Hockey's starting.
Our American friends would be like, Thanksgiving's in October, bud.
Thanksgiving's in November for them. Yeah. But whatever. You know, I mean, we're here in Canada, so that's what counts. And then Halloween is incredible.
I agree. You get all the major sports starting up again, whether you're a football fan, a hockey fan, a basketball fan.
Baseball playoffs.
Baseball playoffs. Like, October is one of the best sporting months for sure. And what a better time to sit back and relax with a nice peated scotch.
Yeah.
Do you remember our very first ever video collaboration we did?
It was Octomore.
It was Octomore.
It wasn't the first time we met, but it was the first time we did a video collaboration. Yeah.
I think we did, 6 or 8 Octomores
It was
in that
a
video?
lot.
We had poured them all out.
It was a 6163, 7173. I don't know if there's more than that.
Yeah, there was 6 Octomores.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. It was wild.
It
'cause
was.
I remember
The basement
your entire
smelled.
basement
Yeah.
it was just enveloped with Octomore, which was amazing.
It was. It was so cool.
Yeah.
I think that was my first experience with Octomore.
Really?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
you broke the Octomore cherry.
I remember going to the LCBO and buying a 6.1. They had it at the time. It was super expensive. It was $200.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this is crazy money for me at the time anyway. $200 on a bottle was a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
But we talked about it before. The Whiskey Bitch, old school freaking YouTuber, one of the best, one of the pioneers. She put me onto Octomore, and I was like, this sounds incredible. I have to buy it.
Yeah.
Forget about the LCBO charging so much money. I'm doing it. And that was the first one, and that was amazing.
You know, it's liking peat is one of those fake it till you make it kind of things. For me, it was anyway. I don't know if that's
for me. It was instant.
You loved it right away. A lot of people I find have to kind of push themselves to like it. And then that night, we had those Octomores, and I was forever sold. Yeah. That was it. I needed peat in my life, and that was the breaking point. Before that, I reviewed some scotch that was peated, but I never really fell in love until Octomore.
Yeah.
So it will always hold a special place in my heart, despite the fact that I think the 14.1 and 14.3 are going to go for $400.
We got in at the good time of Octomore, and let's tell people what we got in front of us right now. We're drinking the 11.3 and the 13.1.
13.1 and 11.3. I got this at a Brookladdy tasting where they showed the Water of Life movie.
Okay, nice.
Which was really cool. And then there was breaking points where they okay, drink that Bear Barley, drink that Brookladdy, whatever, drink the Octomore 13.1. So I picked this up. It wasn't cheap. It was $280.
Yeah, man.
But like when in Rome kind of thing, I was there. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, it's on the shelf. I'll buy it.
Yeah, prices of Octomore have gone crazy. We used to source bottles out of Alberta for 140 to 160 Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I remember loading up on a whole bunch of 6.3
6.3.
because it was my favorite one. And a lot of people will say that the Octomore 6.3 is one of their favorites as well.
We were lucky enough to get a bunch of those 6.3s for a really good price in Alberta.
Like $150, I think it was about
yeah.
that. Yeah,
It was cheap.
super worth it.
I wish I would have hung on to a few more
Yeah.
than I did, because now I'm all out.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you have a sealed one.
I have about 4.
4 sealed ones. We're
Yeah.
gonna have to like manufacture some sort of trade.
I bought enough for life, I feel. I'll open one every 5 years and drink it down
I need
slowly
one of
and
those.
slowly and slowly.
I need one of those in my life.
Yeah. If you're unaware about Octomore, the 0.1 Scottish barley, 0.3s are Isla barley, so
Islay barley.
specific to the island.
Has there ever been a time where where the 0.1 was better than the 0.3? Can you?
Not in my experience.
Never.
No.
Not for me.
But the 6s seem like they are still the benchmark.
Yeah.
6.1 and the 6.3 are still phenomenal, and I don't know. I named the 9.3 my whiskey of the year back in 2019, maybe it was.
Yeah.
And that was the closest I've noticed to a 6.3 was the 9.3. So that would be like probably my second favorite. But they're all really good, and they all just deliver this like really unique profile of peat. Because like these are some of the highest ppm contents of any Scotch, but it doesn't necessarily translate to like the heaviest smoke. These are really well balanced.
You're
these
right.
whiskeys with a lot of sweetness to them. But like, what is it about Octomore for you that like really sets itself apart?
Well, I think what's great about Octomore is when you're outside, especially in the fall, the coldness outside, there's a lot of scents because of like the falling leaves, and like there's already a lot going on. And something that cuts through all of that very well is
Yeah.
Octomore.
Yeah.
You're not dominating this whiskey.
Right.
Like it's dominating whatever it's in the room with.
Yeah, like we've talked about it before. Drinking outside, you lose like what 40% of the nose.
Yeah,
40%
yeah.
of what you're like smelling is gone because like outside like is so much different.
Right.
So you really do need like a whiskey that's going to like hold up to the elements. Obviously, Octomore, like these are cask strength coming in at 61.7 for the 11.3 and 59.2 for the 13.1. Really, really bold whiskeys.
This is 194 ppm.
Yeah,
That is absurd.
yeah,
What was the highest? Like 300 and something, wasn't it?
yeah.
This one is 137.3.
Yeah, and for context, the Freud would be something like around 50,
40, 50.
40 or 50, and Ardbeg 40 or 50. The ppm doesn't necessarily translate to like post maturation peat levels. It's a little skewed.
Yeah. And there's something like behind, like the science behind actually like perceiving.
We don't know the science.
No, but there was something done about like you can't actually perceive 100 and like past like 60 ppm or 80 ppm or something like that.
Right.
So it's just like kind of a cool thing that they have,
Yeah.
and you know that what's great about these bottles is they're very transparent, despite the fact that the bottle itself is not transparent. You know, it tells you the ABV, it tells you it's unchill filtered, no added color. And it actually says coloring free, which Ralphie's made a distinction between no added color and coloring free. And like he thinks that actually matters more when they say coloring free,
Okay.
which I'm not sure why, but I thought that was cool to bring up. Tells you the ppm level, 137.3. Tells you how old it is, which is 5 years old, somewhere on the bottle.
Octomore
over here.
comes in traditionally at 5 years old. There has been other expressions. There's a 10-year-old. I think that they did one for the Fagile Festival, a little bit older perhaps.
I have a 10-year-old
Yeah,
stashed away.
10-year-olds are
somewhere.
good.
Yeah, this one is 5 years old, bourbon cask. Scottish mainland is the barley origin, which is very cool. Barley variety is concerto.
Oh.
Concerto. Released in 2022.
Yeah, and if you look on their website, they might even list what bourbon distilleries they're getting their ex-bourbon cast from. Bruichladdich was one of the first that I've ever noticed that would do that. They would list, like, this one is comprised of Jack Daniel's casks and Heaven Hill casks and Wild Turkey casks, etc., etc. You don't really see that ever in Scotch whiskey, like disclosing what bourbon casks they're using. So I thought that's kind of a cool
That's
thing
because
to do.
Bruichladdich is not threatened by anybody. They just don't care. They play by their own rules, and they're not afraid.
Besides Octomore, in the fall season, the winter season, what other peated scotches are you reaching for?
So I really, really, really like that Ben Romick Contrasts sherry
Oh, the
peat.
sherry peated, yes.
That's delicious. I really like the Lumreeks that McNair is coming out with. That 12-year-old is really good. Doesn't necessarily have to be cast strength. The 10-year-old cast strength is good, though.
Yeah.
I just recently purchased a McNair's 21-year-old. I'm very excited about that.
Nice.
I haven't seen it yet,
Right. Nice.
but I'm pumped for that. As far as other peated whiskeys, Springbank's obviously always there. Long Grow, always going to be there if I can get it.
I think for me, Springbank is one that I can drink at any occasion.
Always.
But there's definitely some that like I won't drink in the summer. I think for me, like obviously Octomore is one that I'm probably not going to drink in the summertime. Lafroig is probably another one that like I would rather drink in the winter months, in the cold season. Ardbeg, same thing. Ardbeg Coy Reckon probably like if you reverse and if you rewind like 5-10 years for me, it was like Coy Reckon. It was Lagavulin 16. Back when Lagavulin 16 was still like really, really solid. I feel like they've dipped a little bit in recent years.
Yep.
But I think Lagavulin 16 was probably like the nostalgia pour for me.
Yeah.
Like that's an outside, like, fall campfire, like a late season little beach mission where it's still like nice enough during the day, but it gets kind of cold at night, like that campfire pour is phenomenal.
I think if I'm going to go peat in the warmer months, it has to be lower ABV.
Yeah.
And probably has to be a bourbon cask, so it's more fruity, like citrusy fruit. And like to complement it, I know this is not your jam, but like oysters and Lafroig go incredible together.
Yeah, you know what? Like the Caledonian would give you, if you ordered oysters, I think they would give you a spray bottle that had it had like Ardbeg in it or something, right?
I believe it was Ardbeg.
Spritz like Ardbeg onto your things.
It's so good.
I can see that, yeah, because like even with these Ardbegs, you get like a little bit of like a seashell, kind of like wet rock, kind of like maritime mist kind of note to them,
That's Isla in a nutshell, right?
That is
like
Isla in a nutshell, yeah.
Isla, you get, because it's such a like wavy, like I've never been, but from what I'm told, it's like super wavy, windy.
When you close your eyes, you just see the shore getting hit with waves and spraying up into the sky. Yeah.
So like all kinds of sea spray, all kinds of like salt landing into the barrels, and so that's what I love about Bruichladdich. And I recently also traded for the Black Art 10.1, which is the non-peated version of their line. Yeah. Very similar kind of like mystique to it that the Octomore has. Probably even more so because they don't really reveal too much. I love like their story. Like I know that they've over the years gotten so expensive, and but like the Bruichladdich Black Art 10.1 is 29 years old. What are you paying for a traditional 29-year-old from like any OB bottler right now?
Right. Yeah, I mean, the most recent one I can think of is Springbank 30,
It's like $3,000.
Which, yeah, right? It was
Right?
like 20, it was 2,500-ish
Yeah.
at retail
Yeah.
if you paid the retail price.
Right. So Brooke Laddie offers the Black Art in Canada. Average price is about $750, right? Plus tax or whatever. You know, actually in Ontario, including tax, I think it's $800 all in.
Does he also be able to get a couple?
We're getting it. It's coming. Yeah. So, I mean, yes, that's expensive.
But when you compare it to its peers and
Yeah.
what the market's dictating for that age of whiskey, then maybe you can say it is good value.
It's probably the better buy versus value, age, whatever. If you're not just looking at quality,
Yeah.
these are 5 years old.
So why is Octomore so expensive at 5 years old?
You know what? Someone said, and I don't know if this is true, but they said that because these are vintage stated, that they can't have older whiskey in there. But you've always suspected that there's older whiskey in these, and I don't think you're wrong. Like it doesn't make sense that there's not. They drink older than they are.
So the vintage statement that you're referring to is what exactly?
So apparently, if there's a vintage statement on a bottle, they cannot put anything outside of that vintage age in the bottle.
See, I'm not familiar with that rule, and I don't see. It just says limited edition. No, it's just say distilled 2014.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, are they just like listing the youngest?
I thought that was
Whiskey
the obligation.
that they've
I thought
had
that
on
was the
here.
only obligation.
Like their youngest whiskey is distilled 2014.
This 0.1 is actually really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're right. I mean, if it's not older, then whatever casks they use, they're brilliant.
They are
And
brilliant,
wherever they put it in the distillery, they know that it's going to get more maturation than other places.
Yeah. Like if this whiskey is truly all 5 years, it's some of the best 5-year whiskey in the entire planet.
Oh, it hits way above its weight class.
Yeah.
You could easily compare this to the Lefroy 10-year-old cask strength. The stuff that's a lot older. You know what I mean? Like it's hitting way above its weight class. It's better than most Lefroy 10-year-old cask strengths.
Yeah.
It's better than, it's a lot more expensive. But it's better than the most recent Lagavulin 12-year-old cask strengths.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely more of what I'm looking for in an Isla when I'm buying a cask strength Isla.
Yeah.
I want that heavy peat.
Yeah.
You don't get that necessarily always in the Lagavulin 12-year-old, right?
I think with Octomore, what makes it so special, in my opinion, is they balance out this crazy peat with this sweetness.
Yeah.
It comes in really, really sweet, and I don't know how they do it. The 0.3s usually have a little bit more of these farmy elements to them.
Yep.
Right? They have this this damp hay kind of note, this muddy. I don't know. Sometimes you throw out the word manure, and people are like, "What the hell are you talking about? That sounds awful."
Yeah.
But it's just a little little fragrance of that. It's not manure in the sense that it's an off-putting note.
Right.
It just smells like a fresh farm.
I would say I would probably compare it more to a mud.
Right.
It's a muddy, damp hay.
It's mostly mud with a little cow turd mixed in, but it's so small that you don't really notice it too much.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Did we already distinguish that the 0.1s are Scottish barley, mainland, and
We did say
the
that.
You did say that, right?
Yeah, the
And
Isla.
the 0.3s are always Isla barley.
Isla specific barley, and it does make a big difference.
It does. It makes
you
a
do get
huge
more
difference.
the farmy kind of elements with the 0.3s for the most part, in generalized speaking, I think.
So, have you heard about Brooke Laddie's rye cask or rye whiskeys?
No.
So, because they didn't want to absolutely torch the soils in Isla, they planted rye for a couple years. So they recently released a 50-50, I think, which is half rye, half barley.
Exciting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
I actually really want to try that.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. I always wonder, like, there's all these Scottish grain blends,
Right.
but they never list what the grains are.
Is it like a known thing that like Canada grows the best rye?
I don't know if it's like globally known. I think we just think that. I think
like-
the Americans agree.
Even for a lot of American whiskeys use Canadian rye.
That's why. Like I was gonna say, like I do believe that the Americans agree we have some of the best rye in the world.
I think just the climate, works best for it, right?
Yeah.
Like it grows well in colder climates.
Yeah, like there was that whole gimmick of the Northern Harvest rye from Crown Royal, right? Because it's basically winter rye. It's rye
Right.
that's, I guess, like picked in the winter or close to it.
Yeah, I think I'm not 100% sure, but they do have like a very late harvest for that,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Like it like the frost, it like helps it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
The frost helps it, right? Where normal plants, you would like frost would hurt it,
Right.
or kill it even. The rye like stands up to that really, really well.
Yeah, it's like ice wine. You need that first frost in order to do ice wine, otherwise it won't work. And you have to go get it on the first frost,
Right.
which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's why ice wine's so expensive.
That's true. And it comes in little vials
Yeah,
and is very, very sweet.
it's delicious.
Yeah.
These are really good. These are really good.
What's a whiskey that you're not drinking in the colder temperatures?
A whiskey that I'm not drinking in colder temperatures?
Yeah, like what's one that you put the back of the shelf when the temperatures gets a bit colder? Is there one?
Probably something lighter. I don't really... The problem with us is we don't really buy that kind of
What's
whiskey.
the worst whiskey to drink outside in the fall?
Macallan. Macallan, pretty much anything.
I would say that's up there, but my number one distillery would be Glenmorangie.
Glenmorangie's... Yeah, because it's very, like, subtle.
If you take a Glenmorangie 10 outside on a fall day, you're drinking water.
Vodka.
You're drinking, yeah, right? You're drinking nothing. It will taste like nothing to you.
Yeah, you are probably bang on with that because like it is super subtle. I think with like at least with Macallan you'll get some sort of nuance, but you're right. I think Glenmorangie is too light.
Yeah, if you're taking a Macallan 43% outside, I mean, okay, like whatever, like it's gonna drink thin probably to you.
Maybe.
And you're gonna probably waste it because it's so expensive that you
Yeah.
don't want to take that thing outside. Because what's the nose on Macallan at 43% outside?
Well, I mean,
Like maybe
it's-
the sherry
yeah.
cask you'll get it, but like if you take a triple cask Macallan outside at a 43%,
It's gone.
it will smell like nothing.
It will smell. The double cask will smell like nothing.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right.
Glenmorangie is one that like I don't buy Glenmorangie. I don't like Glenmorangie. Glenmorangie is like one of the main distilleries that I would probably not.
There's stuff from Glenmorangie that I want to like. I want to like the 14, but I never buy it. I want to
Yeah,
like the 12.
I know.
But I never buy it.
They're like the Quinta Rubin cask, like it's pretty okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty okay.
Pretty okay.
Exactly.
I just wish it was better.
right?
you
Because
know?
if it was better, it hits all the other boxes. Like it's well priced. It's 14 years old.
Yeah.
It's 46%.
Right.
It's just it doesn't deliver.
I like how Glenmorangie was like a pioneer in like doing cask finishings and like they kind of like maybe
Yeah.
started it or whatever, but I feel like their spirit is so light and so delicate. The 10-year-old at cask strength might be intriguing for me, but
That'd be cool. Yeah.
the way they bottle it is like I'm never gonna buy one. And you don't see it in the independent bottling market, do you?
No.
You ever see a Glenmorangie by like Gordon MacPhail or
Which is weird
Signatory
because
or anyone?
Glenmore, you know
Does
what?
SMWS have one?
I wouldn't be surprised if Glenmorangie comes in at a name that doesn't like reflect its distillery. You know what I mean? Like one of those kind of, because they are one of the largest producers of spirit. Aren't
Comment down below. Have you ever seen Glenmorangie in the independent bottling market? I would love to know. I would love to try one because I think like that at cask strength might be more appealing to me. And I don't think they really have any cask strength expressions, do they? Do they bottle anything cask strength?
I don't think they have anything cask strength.
The Cygnus 46.
I know they have like a few single casks that look really cool, but like insanely expensive. So
I tried like their new like I don't know what it's called. Something like Forest. It was like a.
Yeah, how's that?
It was okay. It was something that was cool to try, but like you would never buy a bottle of it. You don't want a whole bottle of this because it's very like weird kind of tasting. You know.
I've been eyeing the Winter. It's called Winter.
That's I think what I'm talking about.
So the Forest exists as well. So they both exist.
Oh, okay.
I think the Forest came out after the year after Winter came out. I've been eyeing Winter because it's sitting on a shelf somewhere that I usually frequent, and I just can't bring myself to buy it. But I want to try it. Like I do really want to try it.
It's like do a bottle split. Do a bottle split
Yeah.
with like a couple people because like you don't need a whole bottle. You just need maybe like a couple hundred milliliters to get a like kind of a taste for it. But like it's so kind of weird and different that like it's good to try, but you're never gonna go back to that bottle over and over and over again.
Do you remember when I opened that bottle of the Milshine? It was the one that looked like a candy parlor or like a barber shop.
Yeah, that got so much hype, that bottle. I bought one of them too.
Did you buy one?
It went crazy on secondary for a little bit of time.
Yeah. It was okay. Again, it was okay. I opened it.
They had these like gimmicky ones like the Tail of Cake. Remember that one?
Tail of Cake I never tried.
Yeah, you did.
Did I try?
have a bottle of it.
Okay, so then maybe I did try it.
I have a bottle of it. I
that's
reviewed it.
That's how memorable it is. That I have no recollection trying
Right?
it.
Like they have these like gimmicky ones that like you're like, okay, well like cake is good. Whiskey cake might be good, but like I forget the maturation. It was a weird wine cask, I think, right?
Yeah.
But no, that was not a
I think it was like a German like sweet wine or like some sort of like European sweet wine, but not from like the typical European countries that you would think a sweet wine comes from. Something like that. All I'm smelling right now though is this sour spritz lather soap that's behind, like that's literally like like I want to eat it. That's how good it smells.
Take a bite. Take a bite.
It's all natural, so it probably would be okay.
Take a little bite of that.
Take. What are the ingredients in some of these are pretty interesting.
It's all natural. It's good for you.
Yeah, organic oils, olive, palm, castor, rice bran, and coconut. How do you go wrong with any of that? Shea butter, goat milk. You know, okay, so there's a funny little thing that's going on at work. We go to a coffee shop. I'm not going to be specific here because I don't want to embarrass anybody or anything like that. But we go to a coffee shop and I usually ask for like a splash of oat milk in my just regular like brew coffee. You know what I mean?
Like a drip coffee.
Like drip coffee, just a splash of oat milk. But it's pronounced, every time they say it, it sounds like they're saying goat milk.
You're saying oat?
I'm saying oat.
But you think it's goat?
But they say goat.
Okay.
But they know it's oat. Like it's on the menu. So today, I have a picture of the cup, and it says G next to it. Like one G. Like one goat,
right, like
goat milk.
Goat. I'm surprised that a coffee shop even have goat milk.
They don't.
Okay.
This coffee shop does not have goat milk. There's absolutely no chance.
What do they pour you?
It's oat milk. But I guess because of the way they pronounce it, they think that it's actually...
Is this an Italian coffee shop?
This is not. Okay.
Okay.
This is nowhere near Italian.
Because one time I went to an Italian coffee shop, and I was like, can I get like an oat milk cappuccino?
Yeah.
And they're like, no oat milk for you. They're like, you want full fat milk or get the fuck out of my store. I was like, okay, well, just a straight espresso, please. Then they're like legit, like plant milks don't exist in Italy or in our store, so get the fuck out of here. I'm like, all right, fine.
Italians are harsh.
And they're like, you want that lactose to freaking fuck with you, or take it straight, bud?
Honestly, though, I will say the milk in Italy is drastically different than the milk here.
Do they do it unpasteurized?
So everything they do, they're not allowed to add any like hormones to like, they're not allowed to like tamper with any food basically. So their food is so much more pure than ours.
Oh yeah.
Like just
because it's all
drastically.
fresh too, right? Like
It's all fresh, but it's like they don't use GMOs. They don't use chemicals to like or like steroids to like enhance their cows. Like you're not gonna get a good steak in Italy.
What's the population of Italy?
60 something million, which is insane because it's like a fraction of the size of Ontario.
And it's almost double all of Canada's population.
It's double. Well, I
we have
think
40,
we're like 40 million. Yeah.
40-ish, 40,
Yeah, so
between
we have
40 and 43.
They have over 20
something like that.
million than we have, despite the fact that you can fit like a million Italys in Canada.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, that's what they always say about, like, Italian food, right? It's like, it's all just fresh stuff. Like, our pasta sauce. You go buy a freaking jar of pasta sauce from the grocery store, it's got preservatives, it's got sugar, it's got all this, like, junk in it.
Yeah. Don't buy,
Right?
If you're going to buy sauce, like buy tomato sauce, buy the ones that are from Italy and just tomato. You know what I'm saying? So, like, ingredients literally just says tomato. That's it. And
So you
and
mean
what
a
you
can
do,
of tomatoes?
and then I'll well, no, I mean the can's okay, but like
You want a jar?
yeah, like
a jar of
the
tomatoes.
already like blended sauce.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then but that's raw, so
Yeah,
you have
you
to
gotta
take
add
that
it.
home.
You gotta add your
You gotta put
spice.
your garlic, your
Okay.
your onion,
Yeah.
your olive oil,
Okay.
and then let it like cook for
Like simmer.
3 hours,
3 hours.
3 to 5 hours. That's the right way to do it. And then freeze that. And then once you're done,
Okay.
you freeze that, and then you just like periodically when you're gonna have your like quinoa pasta or
I
whatever.
love that because, like, I don't like jarred pasta sauce that much. It's not that good.
It's not real.
It's not that good.
It's not real.
It's not even that good.
Like when we were kids, we used to joke about ragu sauce. Like if someone actually ate ragu, like there was something wrong with them. But that was because like the elementary school I went to was like 70% Italian,
yeah.
right? So, but yeah, don't buy any of those like jars. Like
Right.
I don't know. I don't even know what they're called. But ragu is the only one that comes to mind because I remember that from like forever.
I don't remember all the brand names, but they're different everywhere. But you're right. Like pasta sauce in a grocery store in North America is trash.
Yeah, you have to buy like the
trash.
raw tomato, but like blend it into like a sauce and then cook it yourself.
I like that.
Yeah, and if you need a recipe, I'll send you one.
Okay, I do.
I'll coach you.
I do need a recipe.
Yeah, because it's so easy.
Yeah.
It is really like ridiculously easy.
And
Obviously,
just so much better.
and yeah, the experience will just be drastically different for you. All you need is like some basil, garlic, and onion. That's it. You're good.
Check out the description down below for Rob DeSantis family pasta sauce recipe.
Yeah.
Simple, easy, delicious.
What I use like for my own, you wouldn't want to use though, because I like the base has like either like a beef bone or like a beef like
You put your recipe in the description down below. People can look at it. They can alter it if they want to.
alter it to their liking. Yeah.
You do your thing.
I'll do that.
Will your mother and grandmother be like, you should not have shared that?
No, because mine is very different than both of theirs.
Okay.
But I got the stamp of approval from both of them, so
Okay.
that was pretty cool.
Okay.
And
Because,
my
like,
wife's mom, who's also Italian.
I know Italians are very secretive of their recipes sometimes.
Yeah, I was told by someone in the family that I have the best sauce.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
That I make the
such
best
an
sauce personally.
accomplishment.
Yeah, it
Such
is
an
for me. It is because like
Yeah.
old Italian women make incredible pasta sauce.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Or just
so,
any food in general,
yeah.
because it's like a passion.
Well, like when my wife and I were childless, we used to like take pride in our cooking. Like we would like cook up like the
Yeah.
best dishes together. Like we would,
Spend time in the kitchen,
yeah,
do it
like,
right.
Do it right. You
And
know,
now it's a couple contenders in the oven for the kids, and that's it.
We just got to get it done. We just got to get it done now. Got to get it done. Get the kids to bed.
Yeah,
Look at the baby. Look at the baby.
I love that.
So we should. We kind of went off on a tangent there. We should go back to these Octomores, which are actually very, very good, by the way.
Yeah, I do love Octomore, but like I feel like the price now, like it's hard to justify what you're getting from these for the price. I don't think they're worth it anymore.
I think Octomore is one of those things for me that I will probably buy like biannually now. Like
Yeah.
every other year, I'll buy one just to kind of have
honestly, like I got this one as a gift. You bought this one at an event. I don't think I would spend my money on them personally. I think if you want to like do a bottle split with like 4 people,
Yeah.
maybe you can justify that. Like
Yep.
a bottle of Octomore will last you many, many years.
It will last
Many,
a long time.
many years.
Yeah, you don't hit it very often.
You don't. You don't.
What before we mark these, what would be the best replacement for one of these instead of having to buy one of these?
Oh, what's the best placement for Octomore?
Yeah.
Good question.
Something
So-
that has that similar style peat. Like, what is it? Is it your Kilhoman, maybe?
Yeah, there's probably some
Kilhoman's getting up there in price,
Kilhomans
too.
that do stuff like this. But like, can you get like this like farmy element? I don't know. I would probably have to stick with Bruichladdich.
Kilhoman has...
They do an Isla Barley Bruichladdich, right?
They do the Isla
Like
Barley
the heavily
Bruichladdich.
peated Isla Barley.
They do the 10-year-old Port Charlotte, which is not cask strength.
Mm-hmm.
The Isla Barleys, they're hit or miss.
They do a Port Charlotte Isla Barley, right?
Some of them are like really like, I don't know, wine cask influenced. They're not as peated as this, so that wine cask really like.
It is
pops
hard to
through.
replace. It is a very hard to replace bottle, and that's why I think that they're so sought after.
Yeah, I mean the closest. I don't know. I would probably have to go with Kilhoman just because the age comparison.
Yeah.
There's some like there's the Manchir Bay that has like a cask strength version. That's good. The Saneg is really good, but it's not. It's only 50%. It's not cask strength, right?
I'm gonna give you an answer, but it doesn't exist yet.
Okay.
Okay. The replacement for Octomore will be potentially, I don't even know this for sure, the new Brora.
The new Brora.
The new Brora.
Interesting. I thought you were
Brora?
gonna say Arna Merkin.
I will never say that distillery's name because I don't even know how to pronounce
That
it.
I just said it right.
Even though
I just said it right.
Everyone, we should mention in the comments. We did our annual whiskey fantasy draft where we went out and we picked, with $1,000 budget, we picked like a fantasy whiskey lineup of bottles.
Uh-huh.
We did it differently this year. We went with more stuff that we haven't tried before that's just available or not so available.
Yeah.
And Rob was the winner with 58.1% of the vote.
Am I 2-0 now?
Yeah, you are.
I'm 2-0.
People like your picks more than me, for sure. This one was closer.
This was closer.
The first draft we did, you won by like, I think it was like almost close to 70%.
It was a landslide.
Yeah, it was a landslide.
The last time.
This one's 58%, a little bit closer.
Closer.
But people really got on me for cheating.
Some people like literally like just spite voted for me.
They spite voted for you because I cheated and picked Springbank, which
Yeah.
wasn't even out yet.
No.
Won.
Right.
And was against the rules that
Right.
we had made.
Yes.
But
I think you made the rules. I think you made them originally.
well, yeah. I mean, we kind of like don't want to like pick Springbank on certain lists or certain things.
Yeah,
because
it's hard
like,
to.
Because a lot of people get upset
And
about
like,
it.
You can't get it.
We get upset about not getting Springbank. Everyone else that hasn't been established with like secondary market availability or even like being in the Springbank Society or whatever, they have even a worse time. So like if we're getting frustrated, everyone else is getting even way more frustrated. So like we don't try to include Springbank. I cheated. I want that bottle.
I want that bottle too.
I want that bottle so bad. so
You caused sleepless nights for me. Like after
you were, I know. Yeah. Well,
This is
know
what you do.
If you miss it, it's fine. You know
No,
what?
no,
There's
no,
four
no,
more
no.
coming out.
I know, but I don't
And I
want to
think the
miss it.
Pheno is going to be maybe the best of the 5.
I have 2 backup bottles of the PX. I'm hoping I could
I
trade.
know, you keep mentioning that.
I want to trade one of those for the Paulo Cortado.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's how I plan to get it.
I think you should try it first, honestly. You got to try it first to know that like it's worth the trade. You're going to do it just completely blind.
Well, I'm hoping to get like a Paulo Cortado and maybe a half a Paulo Cortado.
Yeah. See,
Right?
like the one good thing about the secondary market is some people will do like sample splits, right? They'll
Yes.
take a bottle, they'll pour out 20 samples or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and be like, if you want to pay, I don't know, $30 or $25.
Yeah. If I could get a bottle and a half of the Palo Cortado for the PX, I would do that tomorrow because then I can keep a bottle of the Palo Cortado as part of the collection. I know. I hate myself for even thinking that way, but it is what it is.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
We're talking about
Oh yeah, you won.
the
You
fact
won the
that
draft.
I won.
You won the draft. So
I won.
congratulations. Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
It was a close one, but
It was close.
I think next year I'll come out with a new strategy.
Yeah.
Keep it fair
Yeah.
and
Back to the drawing board for you.
try to pick. I think a lot of people they liked your value selections.
I was actually
Some
pretty
people
impre-
didn't like your value selections.
Someone
Some
didn't
people
like
are
them.
like, oh no, like obviously like way more quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but they
which
like
is
your
fair.
picks. They like
which
your
is
picks.
fair.
Yeah.
You know what? It is what it is. This is why we do these kinds of things because we have differences of opinion and we like a lot of the same things. So imagine how everybody else feels. There's a
true.
bunch of people out there that don't like anything that we pick. So, you know what I mean? So opinions vary drastically. And that's the cool thing
But in the
about
comment section, people were like, "Oh, like kudos for like going outside the box and picking some distilleries that you don't necessarily always hear about." You know?
Yeah. Yeah, like I thought it was fun. It's a cool little thing that we're gonna do, I think, annually.
Yeah.
We have a few of those now, do we? Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do them every year, like during fantasy season, which is now.
Yeah.
You know, all the big sports are coming back, so
I think we have to get on a 12-year-old or a 15-year-old like bracket buster.
okay. Like, what's the best blind tasting?
yeah.
We'll do it.
I think that would be cool. We should do that soon.
Okay.
These need to be scored.
Yeah. Okay. This is a very easy score for me. These are good Octomores. Are they my favorite Octomores of all time? No. I think for me, the 0.3, the 11.3 is going to get an 87. Really, really good. Just south of that, where I'd like go out and buy it. I don't think these are worth the price. And the 0.1, I think it's a solid like 86.5. I do prefer the 0.3 more. I always do. I don't think I've had a 0.1 that's been better.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good scores. Really, really like these whiskeys. Very, very good. They give you something that other peated whiskeys don't give you.
Yeah, it would have been nice to be able to compare the 13.3 to the 13.1 because it'll probably be hard to find the 11.3 now.
They're still out there.
They might still be
They
out
don't
there.
fly out. They don't fly off the shelves, man.
Not the way they used
Not at
to.
that price. Not at these prices now.
Not the way they used to.
And the 14s just came out too, so the 14s are rolling out now.
Yeah, they'll just be getting to Canada soon.
Yep.
I'm with you. I think the palate is better on the 0.3. I think the nose is slightly better as well. So I'm probably an 87 on the 0.3, which I guess technically would be a higher score than you think of it. Because I would buy that again.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, am I paying? What did you pay for that?
It was a gift.
It was a gift.
But
What
think,
is that? Like
I don't know.
$300?
Yeah, it's around 3-ish, 325.
Okay. If I had to
The
score
0.3s
that,
go for more.
yeah, if I had to score that based on price, probably not that high.
I'm taking off points for value.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, keep in mind that like when we score on the Whisky Rant podcast, we just score the whiskey.
Yeah.
When I do scoring on my channel, I will add or subtract value points.
Right.
So the score will change depends on what I personally paid. If I'm gifted a bottle, I don't do that because I didn't pay for it.
Right.
If I did pay for it, I would be subtracting points for sure.
What I will say is this: if you've never had a 0.3 before, and the 11.3 presents itself, even at $300, buy it, because you're never gonna get this experience in a whiskey.
I would take another route, and if you have access to the secondary market or auction sites, look for a 9.3 They won't be that expensive, I don't think.
Probably like 400 or 500.
I don't even think that much.
Not that much.
Okay, I'm gonna
Like-
throw up on the screen right now what a 9.3 is going for currently.
All right.
But I know
You think the
si-
9.3 is that much better than this at retail?
Yes. I
Interesting.
think the 9.3 gets you as close to the 6.3 as you possibly can get.
Okay.
I would say
Yeah.
the 6.3 if you want to like muster up the cash for that.
The
Those ones
6.3 is like what, 600-700?
They
now?
go for way more.
Do they?
They go for way more because the hype around the six releases are there. Even the 6.1 it goes for a lot.
Yeah.
But the 9.3 is kind of flying under the radar, and in my opinion, it is the best, other than the 6.3.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fine. I'm fine with that. But what I will say is, if you're not a fan of like secondary market, because not everybody does buy from secondary, right? Like,
No.
or like some people don't. Like, you know how many questions I still get? Like, where do you buy stuff on secondary market?
Oh yeah, we should do an episode on that.
We should probably do an episode.
The problem with the secondary market is that most of it exists on Facebook or did exist on Facebook, and now that they've come through so much like scrutiny, the Van Winkle family like really got their lawyers involved with like shutting that shit down. US Facebook groups grew to like 50, 60, 70,000 people. And those all got shut down. And now they're so tight-lipped about it. It's like, it's invite only. You can't like just send out someone an invite to these groups because you're responsible for the people you add.
Interesting.
So like, I can't just add a stranger that likes our show to a group because like suddenly I'm responsible for that person.
Yeah.
And if that person fucks around, I'm out.
Yeah, you don't want that.
So now it's like it's not what it used to be, but there's lots of like UK auction sites. There's legit auctions.
There's
and
Waddingtons as well.
There's Ontario Waddingtons, which is bonkers.
That's just nuts.
There's
Like,
a couple US ones.
I wonder. I do truly wonder if Waddingtons is like real people buying that stuff or just people.
It's money laundering for sure.
Right.
There's US auction sites. There's Craigslist. I would never suggest buying anything off that or Instagram. I got some scammer tried to like sell me some Springbank on Instagram the other day.
Did you keep asking about the Springbank 30?
No, he wanted to like sell me a 21 or something. And I'm like, this picture isn't even yours. I'm like, you're using my picture of my 21 on your account. I'm
Was
just
he?
joking. No, he wasn't. But like Instagram is like such a pure scam. Never buy a whiskey off anyone on Instagram unless you know them for sure.
Yeah.
Like that's wild.
Yeah.
So many people get scammed on Instagram and Craigslist and whatever else. But yeah, I mean, it's not the way it used to be 3 years ago,
Yeah.
where it was in the heyday.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to just finish scoring these bad boys real quick. So I said 87 here, but I'm rethinking that because it's not that much better than this. It is better, but it's not like 3 points better.
Oh.
It's not 2 points better. So I'm going to say that this is an 86.
Is it a point and a half better? Because that's what I scored.
Yeah, this is an 86, and this is a 85.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So basically meaning I would not buy this again.
Okay.
The point ones. And
Yeah.
I would actually, like, if you're new to Octomore, I would avoid the point ones as a whole and just go to point 3 if you're going to buy any Octomore.
I agree. If you're going to shell out the cash, shell out just a little bit more to go to the 0.3 editions because they are, in our opinions, more complex. They got really funky elements to them
Yeah.
that make them really cool.
I would have bought the point 3 if it was available that night, but it wasn't. It was sold out. So that's here we are.
And they produce less of the 0.3.
Yeah.
18,000 bottles. This one,
Might not even say.
unknown.
Yeah.
Unknown. But I would say at least double the amount or more.
Yeah, it could be. Like, I've seen
Yeah.
them upwards of like 27,000 bottles.
Okay.
Who knows? This one doesn't say, like you said,
Right.
but it's up there.
So you have it. Comment down below. Do you have like a go-to peated scotch that you like to drink in the fall months when it gets a little chilly outside? Do you switch up your routine like us?
Could you use an Octomore bottle as an infinity bottle and not get all that pee in it? Could it happen? Would it happen?
You'd have to like soak it for months.
Months?
Yeah.
Or maybe
Months.
maybe that's the unique twist on your infinity bottle.
True.
You want
Yeah.
that peat.
You know what? Sometimes you throw a bourbon, like when I do like the mini cask finishes.
Yeah.
I'll put like a peated scotch in there, and then throw like Eagle Rare 10 in, and it'll pick up a little bit of that peat. It's actually not too bad. I've had like some okay success with like a little peated bourbon.
Peated bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah. They flirted with that for a while.
I've had horrible official bottlings of like peated bourbon,
Yeah,
like
it didn't
bourbon
work.
Asian and an ex peat
Yeah.
cask. Terrible.
Yeah, not good.
Not good.
Not good.
No.
Yeah. That's it. Until next time.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. We much appreciate it. Leave us a comment down below. Like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you the next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.